Okay, let's look at some basics now that we have a text box on our page. I've made my font size larger by clicking on the font list. I might even make it a little bit larger. I'll scroll down and go to 24. If I want to center text, there's a center button, and I'm working on this row of buttons here called the formatting toolbar. It's a great way to avoid doing things like hitting spacebar to center things. I know that this is now centered perfectly on my page because the text box stretches from one guideline to the other. If I was to shrink this text box, my words would still be centered, but only within the text box, not on the page. The text box overrules the guidelines. If I keep shrinking it, the text box will chunk my words smaller and smaller, so you can use text boxes to manage the information, and if I shrink it too much, you'll see this letter A. By putting my pointer on it, it's saying that I have text in overflow, which basically means my text box is now so small I can't see all of the words that I've entered. I have to stretch it back out in order to see my words and get rid of this marker here, the text in overflow indicator. I'm going to stretch it back out here right from border to border so I know that my centered text is now perfectly centered on the page. If I wanted to make it bold, I could do that by using the bold or italic buttons. If I wanted italicized, a lot of these buttons are toggle switches, meaning if I click it again, I turn it off. If I click bold again, I turn that off. If I wanted to change the color of text, I could do that and change the colors. We'll get into that a little bit later. What if I wanted to add another text box? Well, I could use my text box button in the objects toolbar, click it, I'll see my pointer is a plus sign, I'll drag it out, but I'm back to the same font, the default font style, which is, or size, which is 10 points, and it's left aligned. It's not really what I want. I'm going to click on the edge of the text box and press delete or backspace to get rid of it. What I would like is I would like to keep this size and formatting, centered style and larger size. If you're familiar with right-clicking and copying, you can do that. Right-click on the edge of the text box. Has to be somewhere along the border, and then click copy. That way you'll get the whole text box with the words and the formatting. Right-click anywhere on your page and paste. It's going to put it in an awkward spot, so you're going to have to drag that text box. You'll notice when I drag a text box, I put my pointer, I wait to see the four-headed arrow indicator, and then I hold down my left mouse button and drag it. You can drag a text box right off your page if you want to. You won't lose words, you won't lose the text box. And then I'll move anywhere along the border, wait for the four-headed arrow, hold down my left mouse button, and drag it back on. Once a text box is copied, I can paste it as many times as I like. So if I right-click on the page, I can select paste and I'll get the same text box again. By doing this and pasting several times, you can speed up your work. So I'm just pasting and dragging several text boxes onto the page. I'm trying to move them so they move onto the blue guideline here. And then I can just change my words. If I wanted this to be the abbreviation for Business Information Management, I can type that in there. If I wanted to type my name, I could type it in here. And today's date. I believe today is March the 26th, 2010.